Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Excuse the appearance. A sister is tired. I just got off a 3-day trip on yesterday, and technically I'm off, but I'm trying to get these coins. So I picked up another 3-day trip. So I stayed in Dallas for the night. I'm gonna pick up a trip. Someone advertised a trip, paying some extra money, so I took up that offer, and I'm gonna work 3 days and then come back to Dallas, and then come back to Dallas on Thursday, stay the night again in Thursday, and then start my regular 3-day trip on Friday, Saturday. No, I have a 4-day: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I end on Monday. Then I'm off for the week. My daughter has some programs at school, so I originally asked for that week off to attend her programs, and I was lucky I got off. But a Miss, what is her name? DS Swan Beauty artist, left me a message, and she wanted me to discuss some things. I'm going to address a few topics for her. I've probably said some of this stuff before in other videos, but since she asked, I am going to comply, because somebody else may need it, and then some of my videos are long and I'm rambling, so she may not, caught the information. But most of this is going to be about IOEs, how to prepare, transitioning from being a training flight attendant into regular flight attendant, getting your base, social media guidelines, and crash pads. Where is my EFAD? So, everybody is different. Everybody is different, and everybody probably prepares differently. So I can only none of this, as I'm telling you, is like in the book or something like that you have to do. It's just how I do. Once you become a flight attendant, then you're going to probably figure out what works for you and make your own way, and that's cool. All right, so to prepare for your IOE, and I can give you this information because I wasn't prepared, so I'm telling you what to expect. So once you get your wings, you go home for a couple days. Now, since my graduating class was until April, we didn't get our IOE scheduled for almost a month later. But now I heard this graduating class that just graduated already got their IOE schedule. So things are happening pretty fast, and it just depends on later on as the classes go and all these people are graduating, then it's going to probably get a little bit slower because there's only so many IOE instructors, and they're going to have to, pace them out. But two things you need to know for your IOE. Pack for your IOE. So when you come home, you're going to be checking your email. They're going to put your IOE on your schedule. Everybody's days might be different. It may be 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. It just depends on the instructor who is going to be training you and what trip that he or she happens to be on. Look at your trip sheet so you can see what aircraft you're going to be on. I think I still have my trip sheet. Okay. So this was my last trip sheet. I don't know if you can really see it in the light. So this is what a trip sheet looks like. This is how you know your schedule. You can print it out at home. I don't really go to the crew room anymore and print it out. I print it out at home. And I bottle it up and keep it in my pocket. So this is your trip. This is what a trip sheet looks like. This is how you can tell where you're going to go. So on here, it has day 1, day 2, day 3. This was a 3-day trip. Down here in this little line, it tells you how many credits you're going to get for the whole 3 days. Credit is how many hours, flight time hours, and that's what you can multiply times your hourly wage and kind of get an estimate of what your check might look like. And then your time away from base is your per diem, and you can calculate your per diem towards that and kind of get an estimate about what your per diem may look like, and then you can kind of see how much your check might be. So down here is who you're flying with. It has your captain, your first officer, and the flight attendants in your position, whether you're going to be forward or aft. So that's on here. And then it has how many legs total. So this was 10 legs total of 3 days. So day 1, it was 3 legs. It tells you the flight number, the tail number of the plane, the aircraft type, so you can know what aircraft you're going to be on, whether you're on a CRJ. If you're on a CRJ 200, it's going to say CRJ. If you're on a CRJ 700, it's going to say CR7. If you're on a 900, it's going to say CR9. If you're on an ERJ, it's going to say ERJ. It'll tell you where you're starting your trip from, where you're going. Starting, this is flight number, tail number, it's like flight number, tail number, aircraft type, where you're starting your trip from, DFW or whatever your base is, where you're going to, all 3 legs, the time that they're blocked out, like how many hours it's going to take you to get there, your credit, miles, and this here row right here, can't really see it, but this right here tells you like what kind of service. This is your service codes. So if you're going to give service, like if it's going to be water or beverages or a snack basket, you'll see that. And then this last column over here tells you how long of a sit you may have. So like if you're traveling from, say, Dallas to Houston, and then you have to switch planes, or you have to wait for 2 or 3 hours or 30 minutes, it tells you how much time you have before your next trip starts. So you get your IOE, you print out this if you have a printer at home, or you write it down, see what aircraft you're going to be on. And like this was American, so this says AA and my flight number. So I knew it was going to be American. I knew it was going to be the forward. So you're going to email from your instructor, giving you some tips and telling you what to bring. So if you're going to be on the 200, you want to pack really, really good and light, because your bag, if you want your bag on the plane with you, the 200 is small. It's only 50 passengers. And if your bag is thick, like, if it doesn't go flat, and it's poking out and full, it's not going to fit. That means you're going to have to leave it at the gate with the agent and check it. And then but you have to remember that once all the passengers get off the plane and they're getting their gate check bags, you have to go get off the plane, get your bag, and tell them to put it back under. Don't think because you have a tag on your bag that says crew that they're going to put it back under. That you have to go and tell them. Plenty of people have left their luggage somewhere because they thought that just because they have a crew tag that they're going to leave it there. The rampers don't know if you're getting off or going or staying or what, so you have to do that. So like if you're doing American, then I would get your EFAD out that they give you in training, and I would open up your announcements and your service for American. And then you want to look at your service codes to tell what kind of service you're going to be. This is something new. They didn't always have this on here. So now, like, A means all beverages. So that means you're going to do a full service. W means just water service. So like, so you're going to have all service. Then, you know, go over your American announcements. If you are in first class, then you only, the first class flight attendant only has, I think, 2 announcements on American. You just say in a pre-taxi, and then you're doing the main cabin door close, and that's it. And then the aft does all the other announcements. Go over your announcements. What else? Go over your service, so you'll know what your first class is getting, especially if you're on Delta, because Delta is a little different. So you want to make sure that you look at your Delta service, especially, you know, first class. If you're going to have meals, like full-fledged meals that you have to heat up in the oven and stuff like that. So go over that. That way your instructor won't be tripping. Take you a notepad. I wouldn't take the real big notepad, because you're going to be having that in your hand. You're going to probably have it in a galley. So you want to have something, what's the ones, it's like this here, and they kind of like flip over. That way you can probably keep it in your bag with you. Of course, you're going to have your case that they give you with your EFAT in it, your flashlight, your passport, your IOQRs in here and stuff. And if you don't want to carry a purse, you just want to carry like your wallet or your phone that has those slots in it for you to keep your ID or whatever for that trip, then just that. And of course your badge and your watch and stuff like that. But just make sure, packing wise, also you can look at your trip sheet to see where you're going and what time of day or night you're going to get there, and what city that you're going into, because you might be having late show times and getting in at midnight or 11 o'clock at night, and you're not going anywhere. You're going to go straight to that room, put on some pajamas, and you're going to sleep all day until it's time to leave. And so you're going to need to pack all this extra stuff. You just need something to sleep in and some underwear, right? But if you're going somewhere to a city you've never been, and the crew might want to go eat lunch or breakfast together, then take something comfortable that you can just throw on to walk downstairs in the lobby. Or if you do go out to eat somewhere, you have something that you can throw on. And then I always also look at the weather to the places that I'm going, to see if I need my big coat, gloves, scarf, or what have you. So those are some other things to prepare. Take your notes, because your instructor is going to be big on where your notes. Phases of flight, make sure you have those in your notes. Your phases of flight and your pre-flight. Because once you do your pre-flight, you're going to have to pre-flight your aircraft, and you have to say what you're pre-flighting, and you're going to have to say it out loud, so they'll know that you know what you're pre-flighting. What else on IOE? Don't be afraid to ask questions. And I don't care if they get frustrated with you asking questions. How you gonna know if you don't ask? You might get an instructor that says, didn't I tell you that already? Or refer to your notes. What does your notes say? That works my nerves, but that's why I say take notes. And then some of them might try to trick you up, like, you know you're doing something right, and they'll go, are you sure that's what you're supposed to be doing? And then you're like, I think you don't have your notes, you don't know. And it messes with your confidence, because you were doing it right, but then they're questioning you for you to either say, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. But when they do that, it's like, why are you asking me if I'm doing it right? You know, so that I don't get it, but I'm just preparing you just in case something like that happen. But don't ever think that there's a stupid question. You gotta ask, you have to ask. Just write it down. What else? First class. So when you get there, you're going to meet your IOE instructor. She's going to check your compliance, make sure you have everything you need. You're going to sit down in a seat like a passenger, and you're just going to watch her. I would take notes, watch everything she does, and all that. Then the second leg, she might say, okay, you come up here with me. This is your chance to shadow me and ask, questions if you have any concerns. So that's your question and answer. Then the third leg, she might say, I'm sitting down and you on your own. You still can ask questions, depending on your instructor might not, be so nice about answering them. I'm just being honest. But you still can ask questions. But they're going to be like right there. You turn around, so you're going to be like a Siamese twin. They're going to be right here. The rest of the trip, you're going to be primarily on your own, them shadowing you or what have you. And then your very, very last leg of the day, right before that, they might go over some things with you and say, okay, these are some of the things you need to do. This is what you're still not doing right, or what have you. You need to make sure you do this, or I'm going to have to fail you, or whatever. That's another question and answer thing. And you're on your own, the last leg. You can't ask them anything. They're just there to watch and observe. Make sure you know about your doors if you're on the ERJ. If you're on the ERJ, make sure you have your, what they gave us in training about your doors, your ERJ lanyard. Make sure you have that and always refer to that and use it. And take your time. Don't feel rushed. Don't let them rush you with those doors. Also, what else? I think that is about it for preparing for IOE. If you think I left anything out, just make sure you have your compliance and you're dressing. Have some comfortable shoes. Comfortable shoes. Don't get stressed out. Don't let them stress you out. Don't let them frustrate you. And God forbid if you get someone that you're just really not clicking with and you're not getting along and you feel like y'all just clashing, don't be afraid to email the training center or call them and let them know. Technically, you can't call your supervisor at your domicile because you are not a flight attendant yet. Everything still has to go through the training center. So until you officially pass, you have to go through the training center supervisors and let them know what's going on with your IOE. So that is one of the ways you can prepare for your IOEs. Just look at your trip sheet, and just pay attention to that. Once you pass your IOE, typically you have like 2 days off, and then you can go home and wash your clothes and start packing your bag for your next trip and get into your base. You are flying non-rev, so make sure you plan accordingly to get to wherever you gotta get in enough time. Do not, hear me when I say this, do not wait to take the last flight out from your city to get to your base. Do not do that, please. I don't care if it says it's 159 seats available. Do not wait to the last flight, because what if it cancels? What if it's a mechanical delay? You cannot miss your IOE. So give yourself time to get to your domicile, get to your crash pad, your apartment, your hotel, or wherever, to go over your notes and prepare for your first flight. Now, I've talked to a lot and ran into a lot of flight attendants who finished their IOE and went home and then got their schedule and they had like a trip, and their first trip was international, Canada somewhere, Mexico, and they were by themselves on a 200 and they freaked out because you are nervous. I was too. So I would definitely, if you're by yourself on a 200, I would definitely go over the Canada rules and announcements, because you're doing the announcements by yourself, you're doing the service by yourself, you're doing your pre-flight by yourself. So I would definitely go over all that. Service is something totally going to be totally new, because you only touched on it such a little bit in training. And so you want to get on the plane and you want to just start opening every compartment, every container. You want to open all of them to find out where everything is, so that you won't be looking for stuff. And eventually you'll get to the point to where you're going to organize your galley how you want it to flow for you, to get through your work faster. Make sure you have ice. If your liquor, your beer bucket has too much ice in it, or too much water that's melted from ice, you want to drain it. You want to make sure you have all your snacks, your snack baskets. If you're on a flight that has meals, you want to make sure you have your meals. You have enough meals for your first class. Want to check your lavatory, make sure you have all your supplies. You just want to go through all the compartments and see what you have, so that if you have to call commissary to come out and give you what you need while you're waiting at the plane, you have time. Cups, coffee, all that, gloves. So go through all the compartments. Don't be afraid to ask on your IOE questions about service and where things go. Now, mind you, the aircraft that you're going to be on may be set up totally different from your next aircraft. So don't go saying when you open this drawer, snacks are here, but then you get on another plane and like, snacks are not here, because they might be somewhere else on another plane. So you'll get used to flying on these different aircrafts and seeing where the snacks go, because there are different types of 700s, there's different 900s, and it might be somewhere different. The ERJ has a lot of compartments. They have aft, and then they have the up front. So you have to know where some of your things are. Some of the things that belong to you in first class are in the back, and you need to go back and check and make sure you have everything you need. And then on service, the aft will bring your cart, will switch carts out. She'll come bring you a cart, and you'll give her a cart back. Depending on where you base, you may not have cleaners. So once your trip is over, we're responsible for, we put on gloves and get a trash bag, and we go and look through every seat, see if there's anybody left anything, pick up any trash, cross the seat belts over, make sure the passenger safety cars are facing forward. We take the, empty the trash out the lavatory. Then we put it in the big trash can, and then usually they have people that come and take your trash bags out of your galley. So every carrier and every hub does not do that, do not have cleaners, so it's possible that you will have to do it. So take an account for that, that you will have to clean. And if you're on a MST and you don't have a lot of time, then you just do trash and dash. And what that is you just get the trash, don't worry about the seatbelts, and then you hurry up and get off the plane, because the next crew needs to get on so they can go. Let's see. There is social media guidelines. I'm sure they went over, but you can also look them up. Make sure that while you're in training or while you're on your IOE, that you're not posting any videos of training, and then tagging the airline in it especially. That's why a lot of times when I do my videos now, you don't hear me say the airline that I work for, and a lot of times I'm not in a visible type of uniform where you can kind of see, because we do have social media guidelines that we need to try to stand by. And I just want to limit that, because I don't need nobody calling me. Not trying to be up at nobody's office. Let's see, transitioning, once you pass your IOE and you go home and now you are a flight attendant. The hardest transition for me was being away from my kids and being away from home. for weeks at a time. I went through a point to where I was not depressed. Yeah, but I'm gonna say I was depressed. I was homesick and I was feeling guilty. And I was going, did I make the right decision? Am I gonna be able to maintain, with the money that I'm making? Or my kids do they feel like I'm neglecting them? Relationships, that I had with friends. I haven't seen my core group of friends, like my best friends, since October of last year. I think somebody had a birthday party. I can't even tell you who, and I made it. But I haven't actually seen them and like hung out with them like I used to since October of last year. I'm missing everything. I want to go home and I just want to go to sleep and take care of business that I got to take care of around the house before I have to leave again. Maintaining any type of relationship with any male has been hard also because I don't even want to talk on the phone. So having to call somebody, you don't know what time you're going to land or be in, and they might be sleeping. They got to get up and go to work if they have a regular job. That is a hard transition, not being able to see them. Don't know when you're going to be able to see them because of your schedule. It's hard. It's very hard. So you're going to have to get used to that, especially if you're married or you are already in a committed, relationship. It's going to be an adjustment for you and that other person. I wasn't in a relationship, so I gave zero of what they had to say, because ain't when none of y'all trying to be my man, so I don't owe nobody no explanations, and I'm not answering no questions. It is what it is. But if I was, it would be very, 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 very hard. The only people that I have to question, like I've been gone, and I'm not going to be home all this week, so I'm not going to see my daughter all this week because I'm trying to make this extra money, and I won't be home until Monday. But at least I'll get to spend a week with her, or 5 days. So that's been kind of hard. That's a transition right now. So I would prepare your family and your significant other and your best friends and stuff right now. They need to support you right now. You're going to need it. And if not, you're going to just be sometimes sitting up in your crash pad wanting to give up and wanting to cry. I've talked a couple of people out of quitting because of the same thing. They were just like, it's not what they thought. It's harder. They went through their training and they realized we are not just peanut pushers. We bomb experts, terrorist experts, we doctors and everything else, conflict resolution specialists, we counselors, we bartenders, we waitresses. We are a lot of things. We wear many hats, so it's a lot. Last thing is crash pads. If you're on social media, you have Facebook, there are several crash pads on Facebook, not just Crash Pad 411. I think you have to subscribe to their service, but just put in the search bar Crash Pad and say you're in Detroit. You can put the acronym for Detroit Airport, DTW, or Crash Pad DFW, or Crash Pads IH for Houston, or ATL for Atlanta, wherever you're going to be based. Colorado Springs, COS, and then see what pops up, because almost every base has a Facebook group. Then there's Facebook groups for reserve, so that you can trade reserve days with other people, or trade AM or PM reserves with your fellow reserve team members. What else? I believe that is it, if I'm not mistaken. And please go to work looking like some. Don't go to work looking like this. Please go to work with y'all hair combed and y'all face beat to the gods. And when I say beat to the gods, I don't mean you need to have on 5 layers of makeup, eyeshadow, mascara, eyelashes, all that. Just do something with this and make sure that hair is combed. I don't care what time of morning it is. We get so many compliments from different people, like, our particular company, I hear gate agents I've had them tell me directly how refreshed and good I look coming to work. And they would say, because sometimes some people be looking a hot mess. And I've seen it, not just with us, but with other airlines. And I'm like, she coming to work like that? I would never. But, so please don't go to work looking a hot mess. I'm going to need y'all to get it together. And that is it. So make sure you have all your compliance stuff. Comfortable shoes. You can be cute if you want to. If you can stand around in heels all day, be my guest. That's up to you. But I guarantee you, the first day walking around in some heels from gate to gate, gate to gate, in them heels, you're going to want to throw them shoes away. Some people wear heels through the airport, and then when they do service, they take them off. But if I'm not young like that anymore, and my knees is not set up that way, but I used to be able to walk with my heels. I could play baseball in some heels at one point. So anyway, you guys, I'm gonna go. I have to pack my bag and do something to my head and get ready for my 3-day trip that I am going on. And I will talk to y'all later. So when you get your IOE, let me know how it goes. Take care.